Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. It is a little cooler outside today. I think our high, they said, is going to be 27. We had some snow showers last night and also today. So we're definitely having the snow. Hello, would you like to join me? I know, of course you would. So anyway, I wanted to do a video today. I know it's like I did this video before, but I'm going to do it again so you guys don't have to search way back through all my videos to find it. I had mentioned in a video that I had a near-death experience when I was 16 years old. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened in my near-death experience and what happened to me, why I have no fear of death, and that type of thing. So anyway, when I was 16, we were having a party. And, you know, a bunch of kids, of course, everybody's, you know, underage, drinking and having a good time. And there was a guy at the party that was an acquaintance. I didn't think he was an enemy, per se, but apparently he didn't like me. So we got wrestling around, just kind of screwing around, I thought, and he got me in a chokehold. And he was basically... I was in a sitting position on the floor with my legs out, and he was behind me, and he had me locked in. Now, here's a couple things that I want you to understand, okay? When somebody has you in a chokehold, you can't say to them, I can't breathe, okay? You can't say that. You can't say anything, because when you can't breathe, you can't say a freaking word. And that's a really, really frightening thing to deal with at that point. And, so once I realized that I could not breathe, she's a nut. Once I realized that I couldn't breathe, it was your first initial reaction is complete terror and panic. Okay, so I was trying to get his arm off my neck and I couldn't. Okay, so I I realized I was in trouble, and I don't know if he was. To this day, I don't know if it was intentional or if it was just a drunken moment or whatever it was. I really don't know. I never hung out with him after that, so I really don't know. But anyway, so he has me in his chokehold, and he was kneeling behind me, and I'll tell you how I know that in a moment. But so he was kneeling behind me, and he's got me in his chokehold. I realize I can't breathe. So once I realized I couldn't get his arm off my neck, I look over at my buddy, one of my buddies was sitting on the couch, and I motioned to him like this, hey, I didn't say hey, obviously, but I'm motioning to him. Well, he was drunk as well, obviously, and so he's like, yeah, man, I see you, so it was kind of like at that moment that I realized that I was going to die. And here's the weird thing about that. When you fight, it's your natural instinct is to fight as long as you possibly can. Well, I had fought as long as I could, and I realized that I was going to die. And here's the weirdest part about that. Once you realize you're going to die, this weird peace, this is my experience anyway, this weird peace overcame me. And I just let go. And because I fought as long as I could, there was nothing else that I could do, and I knew I was going to die, so I just let go. The next thing I remember, and this is like the best way that I can explain it, and are you comfortable? Are you? Freaking nut job. The best way I can explain it is that my mind and my eyes, and that's the only way that I can kind of explain it. I remember being in the corner of the room, up in the by the ceiling, and looking down on myself and seeing him kneeling behind me with his arm around my neck, and looking down at myself and just going, not being afraid, but being more puzzled, I think is the word. Will you stop? Oh my goodness. Being more puzzled than anything else, and just going, wow, this is strange. So I looked in the other room here, and I looked in the other room there, and then I looked back because I didn't believe that it was real. And there I am, sitting on the floor with him basically choking the life out of me. and it was the most bizarre feeling that I've ever had in my life. And there was no fear whatsoever. It was a complete calm. I was completely at peace, and it was more, like I said, it was puzzlement more than anything else. It was just kind of strange looking down at your own body. And so what happened next was, I guess from what I was told later, my sister realized that something was wrong. She made him let me go. And when he let me go, my eyes rolled up in the back of my head, and I went straight back on the floor. And they brought me back around. And but because of that experience, for me personally, I have never had fear of death again. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to live. I have no intention of going anywhere. I don't want to die. But I don't have a fear of death. There was no white light. I know some people say they see the white light in the tunnel and you got to go, whatever. But I never saw anything like that. It was just, I was there, looking down at myself, but there was no fear. And I knew there was nothing to be afraid of. It was, like I said, just more puzzlement than anything else at that point. And it was a most surreal experience. I mean, unless you've had a near-death experience and left your body and looked down on yourself and saw yourself there, you can't even begin to understand what it's like. And but because of that experience, I have never had a fear of death ever since then. And you know, so I don't proclaim to know what happens after we die. I'm not saying that I went anywhere or I saw anything or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I know whatever it is that comes next, there's no fear. Okay? And I'm not going to put a religious connotation on it and say, oh, you know, I was going to Jesus or any of that type of stuff, because I don't think that was the case. You know, it was a very surreal experience. It was definitely something that, you know, I've never experienced since then, because I've never had that kind of an occasion since then to come that close to death. But yeah, it was definitely very, very interesting. And like I said, I don't proclaim to know what happens after this life. But, oh, you had a fart. You stink. Oh, okay, you gotta go. Sorry. Ugh. But whatever it is that comes next, it's not a bad thing. And there's no reason to fear what's coming next. I know a lot of people have a fear of death and stuff like that, but it's just part of the experience of what we live in our life. And but that was my near-death experience, so I definitely wanted to share that with you. And you know, definitely give me your thoughts on that. I know a lot of people are going to throw a religious connotation on it, which is your right, and you can think whatever you want. It was not a religious experience for me. It was very puzzling. It was very strange, and it was very interesting, like I said. But I can honestly say that I've never been more at peace than I was at that moment. And in that moment, when you realize that you've done everything that you can to try to survive, and there's nothing else that you can do, and I would imagine that drowning victims experience the same thing. You just let go, and there's no more fear. And so that was kind of interesting for me, that there was no more fear at that point. And so it was, like I said, it was definitely a very wild experience. Okay, so definitely wanted to share that with you. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are. If you've experienced a near-death experience, please let me know what happened to you. I mean, I know everybody's different. Different people see different things and stuff like that. But, you know, it was definitely a very interesting moment in my life, and definitely defined a lot of how my thought process is with a lot of things. And, you know, like I said, this is an experience. We're here for a short time. Whatever happens next, I don't proclaim to know what it is. And I know some people are going to say, oh, well, I know what happens. Well, no, you don't. You believe, you hope, you have a feeling of what's going to happen. But until we experience it, none of us are going to know. And I'm not saying that I'm an expert in it. I know, because I don't know. I just know what happened to me in that moment. And there is no fear. There is no terror, if you will, of what is going to happen next. So that was quite... It was a defining moment at that point in my life that definitely kind of guided me the rest of my life. And you know, we have experiences that we go through, and things that are going to happen that shape us and make us who we are. But you know, good or bad, okay. And but that's what happened to me. But so definitely, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I definitely want to get your feedback and what you think. And you know, if you don't believe me, guess what? I don't care. I know what happened to me, and you know, because some people are going to be like, oh, well, that was crap, and it was this, and it was that. I really don't care. I mean, I'm just saying what I experienced, what happened to me, how I felt in that moment, and how, like I said, how it has kind of shaped who I am, and part of made me who I am today. And like I said, it's you know, death is part of life. We are all going to experience it at some point, and it's just the next step. Whatever is next is next. But and like I said, I don't proclaim to know what that is. I have my own thoughts on it, but you know, everybody is different, and you can believe whatever you want to believe, and I respect your right to believe whatever you want to believe, as long as you respect mine. Okay. So anyway, so that's my story with that. Today, like I said, it's a cool day here at the homestead, and we're just kind of doing a low-key day, and we're getting light snow showers out there, so it's not a great solar day today, but we are getting some solar in. I do plan on putting up the new solar panels, 2 of them on the rack, probably Friday, because they're talking it's going to be in the 40s on Friday, so and sunny, so hopefully that's going to happen then. And if that's the case, you know, I'm going to say where they're coming from, the solar panels, where I got them and stuff like that. So, and kind of explain everything. So anyway, so that's that. And I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. And I hope everybody's having a great day. Remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen. And so it's real important to let the people that you care about know how you feel. And remember, it's STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it if you work methodically towards it. Hopes and dreams are a good thing. We have to have them. And to have something to live for is also a good thing. And, you know, try to be positive. You know, stay away from negativity. Don't listen to those negative people. They only want to bring you down because they're miserable and they want you to be miserable as well. And that's not worth it. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with, if you are unhappy in your situation, change your situation. Life is way too short to be unhappy. It really, truly is. And life is so precious, and it is an awesome, fun thing if you let it be. Okay? I will talk to you all tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.